The sun is the primary as well as the ultimate source of energy, as it is the source of nearly all of the Earth's energy.
And producers have the amazing power to harvest this solar energy.
That's right. Producers such as plants and algae use solar energy to prepare food by photosynthesis, which is directly or indirectly consumed by animals, including me and you.
I always wonder how plants do such an impossible task using sunlight. I mean, unlike humans, they manufacture their own food from scratch.
That is incredible, isn't it? Plants are experts at capturing light energy and using it to make sugar through the process of photosynthesis.
I know about that, but I want to know how exactly they do it. Do they stretch out the leaves towards the sun and collect little packets of light to sprinkle on their food? You know, sometimes I just randomly wonder why humans can't make fruits pop out of their heads lying under the sun while plants can.
I like your fantasy, but sadly, that's not how it works.
Well, I somewhat know how it works.
Do you mind recalling?
Sure. Unlike the human cells, plant cells have chlorophyll, which is basically the element that gives them the green color. These chlorophyll molecules capture the energy from sunlight for photosynthesis and are found in the cell organelles called chloroplasts.
Correct.
I know what chloroplasts are since we studied that in the previous chapter. Tell me more about photosynthesis, would you?
Okay, we will surely discuss photosynthesis in depth, but since it is a vast topic, I need to prepare you to understand that. So can you tell me where chloroplasts are found in a plant?
Sure. Chloroplasts are found in all the green tissues of the plant, especially in the leaves. They are concentrated in the Palisade Mesophyll tissues of the leaves.
Okay, now we're talking. The Palisade Mesophyll cells of leaves have many adaptive features that help them to carry out photosynthesis efficiently.
Yep. Also, I see that the edges of these cells are denser and greener than their centers.
Nice observation. That is because of the large central vacuole in the cell. The vacuole pushes the chloroplasts to the edge of the cells, which enables them to absorb maximum light. It also shortens the distance for diffusion of carbon dioxide when it is so close to the cell membrane.
That is some plant economics right there.
I know, right? Plants are very smart. On top of that, the Palisade Mesophyll cells are closely packed to absorb maximum light. These cells are elongated and have thin walls. This provides them with large surface area for diffusion of gases.
I guess the thin cell walls also promote maximum light penetration, like light passing through a tracing paper.
Exactly, and these cell surfaces are moist. Can you guess why?
Oh, I know. Just like the epithelial cells in the alveoli of our lungs, the mesophyll cells need moisture for the diffusion of gases.
Well done. Chloroplasts can also move towards light to absorb maximum light. On the other hand, they can also move away from the higher light intensity to avoid damage.
Wow, that's so cool. Is that the reason why the plants always grow upwards?
Yes. How did you figure that out?
Oh, I used something called common sense.
Good one though. Anyway, the chloroplasts also have a specific pet name. Do you remember that?
Of course. They are called the kitchen of the plant cell.
Yes, indeed. Why are they called that though?
That's because chloroplasts provide chemical energy to the cell.
Finding this helpful? We have additional learning resources to offer. For Cambridge IGCSE and AS A-level subjects.
Bingo! Since you know so much about chloroplasts, I guess you also know how chloroplasts trap the light energy from the sun?
But hang on, we haven't discussed the functions of chloroplasts in detail.
No worries, that's why I'm here. Trust me, you'll not be disappointed. And like you said, it is very amazing what these microscopic things can do. So buckle up.
Sure, I can't wait.
That's the spirit. Before we begin, let's recall the structure of chloroplast that we studied in chapter 1.
Sure, I can do that.
Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Chloroplasts are relatively large cell organelles that are elongated biconvex discs, which look like skittles but pinched a little, and are visible under the light microscope. Each chloroplast is bound by two phospholipid membranes. The space between these two membranes is called the intermembrane space. Inside the inner membrane is a fluid-filled space known as stroma. The stroma contains the 70S ribosome, a loop of DNA, lipid droplets, starch grains, and enzymes. In the stroma, we can also find many disc-shaped, flattened, fluid-filled sacs called thylakoids. These thylakoids are arranged in stacks, and each stack is called a granum. These grana are connected to one another by membranes.
Fantastic! You did an amazing job. I just want to add one more piece of information to that. The stroma is the site for light-independent reaction, while the thylakoids are the sites for light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis.
Oh, I remember you mentioned that in the previous lesson too.
I'm glad you remember. The membranes of the grana provide a large surface area to hold the pigments, enzymes, and electron carriers needed for the light-dependent reactions. Also, this membrane accommodates a large number of photosynthetic pigment molecules to absorb as much light as necessary.
I see.
These pigments capture light energy necessary for photosynthesis and convert it to chemical energy.
But given that they feed on light, won't they burst open with too much light packed in them? I mean, there's so much light out there.
Wow, that's a lot of light in one sentence. And no, they don't burst open, neither do they drown in light. That's because these pigments absorb only specific wavelengths of visible light while reflecting others. To add more, the membranes of the grana hold an enzyme called ATP synthase, which basically catalyzes the formation of the energy currency molecule ATP.
Wow. It is amazing how such a tiny thing can have such complex structure and diverse functions.
I know, right? You will love this electron micrograph showing the structure of a chloroplast.
Wow, that's so cool. Nature is incredible, and so is science. The micrograph made the structure so vivid and easy to recognize.
Register now for free.